If you think you already know the rules of flying, pause. Because what worked in 2025 can quietly get you denied in 2026. Not delayed, not inconvenienced, denied. January 2026 isn't bringing new travel tips. It's bringing enforcement, the kind that doesn't argue with you, the kind that doesn't care how many times you've flown before. For decades, airports ran on human judgment. A TSA officer could wave you through. An airline agent could make an exception. A missing document might mean a warning instead of a problem. That era is over. In 2026, airports run on systems. Databases talk to each other. Barcodes decide. And once a system flags you, there is no explaining, no reasoning, no fixing it at the counter. This isn't about packing smarter. It's about whether you're allowed past the checkpoint, whether a boarding pass even prints, whether the plane leaves with or without you standing there. Here's what most travelers don't realize yet. Many of the changes coming in 2026 don't look dramatic. They don't come with announcements or warning signs. They show up as quiet fees, as silence rejections, as a screen that simply says not authorized. And when that happens, the line keeps moving. People are going to lose trips in 2026, not because they broke the law, but because they followed habits that no longer work. If you fly even once a year, or if you care about someone who does, this matters. Subscribing now isn't about content, it's about protection. Most people won't hear this until they're already at the airport, holding a ticket they can't use. Stay with me, because what comes next isn't speculation. It's dates, dollar amounts, and the exact steps that keep you moving while others get stopped at the gate. Change number 1, TSA and Real ID enforcement. Here's the trap most travelers aren't seeing until it's too late. On February 1st, 2026, the TSA will stop giving warnings. No more exceptions, no more free manual checks. If you show up at the checkpoint without a Real ID compliant license or a valid passport, you will be charged a Confirm ID fee, $45, non-refundable. That fee isn't a one-time pass. For seniors or anyone flying round trip, there's a hidden catch. The verification window lasts just 10 days. Fly from New York to Florida on February 1st and pay the $45 because you forgot your passport. Stay 2 weeks. On your return trip, your 10-day window has expired. Another $45. Just like that, $90 gone without touching a plane seat. And the consequences don't end with your wallet. You won't simply join the regular line. You'll be directed to a separate verification lane, often with 30 minutes or more of added delay. For travelers with tight connections or seniors managing mobility, this isn't just frustrating. It can turn a routine trip into a missed flight. The fix is simple, but critical. Use your US passport or passport card. These documents bypass the fee entirely. You walk straight through security, on time, and without risking extra charges. Remember this language. Here's the trap. Because in 2026, traps like this are everywhere, and they only work if you ignore them. This isn't theory, it's enforcement with a price tag, and it's real. UK ETA hard enforcement. Mark this date, February 25th, 2026. Starting then, if you're planning a trip to London, Scotland, or Wales, the rules are no longer flexible. No permission, no boarding. Airline systems have been updated to enforce it automatically. That means if your electronic travel authorization, or ETA, isn't linked to your passport in the airline system, the computer will prevent the boarding pass from printing. No human can overwrite it. No last-minute fixes at the counter. This applies even if you're just transiting through Heathrow. A layover can turn into a complete travel nightmare if your ETA isn't approved days before your flight. The cost is minimal, about $16 to $21, but the consequences are massive if you ignore it. And here's the catch. It's app only. There is no paper alternative. You must apply on the official UK ETA app days ahead of your departure. Waiting until airport check-in is no longer an option. This isn't optional. It's enforced, automated, and instant. One simple oversight can mean watching your plane leave while you stand at the gate. If this is new to you, imagine how many travelers won't know. Subscribe now so you don't become the person watching the plane leave without you. And while we're on the UK, the financial stakes don't stop there. The next change directly hits anyone seeking comfort in premium cabins. Cost escalation. UK Air Passenger Duty. Mark your calendar, April 1st, 2026. This isn't an April Fool's joke. The UK Air Passenger Duty, the tax added to every ticket leaving a UK airport, is going up, and it hits premium travelers the hardest. If you're booking premium economy or business class, especially for long-haul comfort, you could see an extra $200 or more added to the ticket without warning. Seniors who often choose the front of the plane for easier boarding and extra legroom will feel this increase immediately. The reality is that the system doesn't care if you're unaware. It calculates automatically, charging each seat in the premium zones. That $200 plus jump is applied before you even step on the plane. The fix is simple, strategic, and often overlooked. Consider flying home through Dublin or Paris instead of London. Those routes are not subject to the same APD increases, letting you keep your budget intact while still enjoying the trip. It's not about cutting corners, it's about knowing where the hidden costs are and choosing your route deliberately. In 2026, ignoring this could turn a comfortable flight into a shock at checkout. Europe Border Automation. Entry-Exit System. Europe is changing how it watches who comes and goes. April 2026 marks the full rollout of the entry-exit system, and with it, the age of passport stamps is officially over. This is fully active. You will no longer walk up to a booth and get a friendly nod or a quick stamp. Instead, every traveler must scan their face and provide fingerprints from all 4 fingers. The system tracks your stay automatically. 91 days instead of 90, the computer knows instantly. There's no discretion, no human judgment. For seniors, this system presents real challenges. Kiosks are often high, and fingerprint scanners require consistent pressure. Rushing or struggling can trigger border delays, and even trigger a border flag. Take your time, focus on accuracy, not speed. The change isn't optional. Your movements in Europe will be logged, timed, and verified digitally from the moment you land to the moment you leave. Even a single day over your allowance can create serious complications for future travel. This isn't about technology for convenience. It's about automation enforcing the rules that humans use to interpret. Knowing the system, preparing ahead, and moving carefully is your best defense in 2026. ETIS. Let's clear up the confusion about Europe's ETIS travel authorization. Contrary to some online chatter, you do not need ETIS for trips in January 2026. The system is expected to roll out later in 2026, likely towards the end of the year. When it does launch, the application fee is $7. But here's a critical point for seniors. If you're over 70, that fee is completely waived. Any site trying to charge you regardless is scamming you. This isn't theory, it's confirmed policy. Knowing this ahead of time protects both your wallet and your travel plans. In 2026, relying on outdated or misleading advice can cost you more than just money. It can cost you peace of mind at the airport. Awareness here is your first line of defense. Stay alert, apply only through official channels, and don't let misinformation create unnecessary stress. Brazil Visa. If you're booking a cruise to Brazil or planning a leisure trip to Rio in 2026, here's what most travelers miss. Since April 2025, Brazil reinstated its visa requirement for US citizens, and it's fully enforced in 2026. This isn't a paper visa picked up at the airport, it's an e-visa that must be applied for before you travel. The process requires you to upload bank statements and flight itineraries, and it costs roughly $80. Skipping this step isn't just inconvenient, it has immediate consequences. Without a valid e-visa, you won't board your cruise, you won't fly into Brazil, you simply cannot travel. This is fully active. For cruise travelers especially, failing to prepare ahead can turn a vacation into a stranded nightmare at the dock. Knowing the rules early, submitting the required documents digitally, and checking approval before departure is your only safeguard. Southwest Assigned Seating. For decades, Southwest was the champion of open seating. You checked in, grabbed your number, and chose any seat. It was simple, predictable, and comfortable. That era ends on this date. Open seating is gone. Southwest is moving to assigned seating, just like Delta and United. But there's more. They're introducing premium zones. Front rows, exit rows, and extra legroom seats now cost extra money. For seniors who value the front of the plane to board quickly, stretch out, or avoid the long walk, this change directly hits both comfort and budget. Comfort is now monetized. The choice that used to be free, automatic, and convenient will now carry a price tag. It's not just a policy change, it's a brand disruption, and lifelong Southwest flyers are in for a shock. If you fly Southwest even once, subscribe now, because this change alone is catching travelers off guard, and missing it could cost you more than just money. It could cost you the seat you counted on. Preparation and awareness are your only defenses in 2026. Understand the rules, know the cost, and plan your seating strategy before you even click check-in.
Customer of size policy. Here's a change that quietly shifts financial risk onto you. Southwest's historic policy allowed travelers needing 2 seats for comfort to buy the extra seat and get a refund after the trip, no questions asked. That's changing. Starting in 2026, refunds for the second seat are no longer guaranteed. Now, the airline will only refund the extra seat if the flight is not sold out. If the plane is full, you pay for both seats regardless of necessity. For travelers who rely on this policy, especially seniors or anyone requiring additional space, this is a critical shift. It's not just a fee change, it's a financial trap waiting a booking. Planning ahead and booking early is no longer optional. Understanding the new rules is the difference between comfort and paying double without warning. Lithium battery limit. If you rely on a mobility scooter or device, this rule cannot be ignored. This is not optional. Lithium-ion batteries cannot exceed 300 watt-hours. Any battery over that limit is simply not allowed on the plane. There are no exceptions at the gate. If your scooter's battery is too large, you will be stopped. No argument, no workaround, no boarding. The fix is straightforward but urgent. Check your battery label now. It's usually printed on the device. If it exceeds the limit, contact a manufacturer immediately to see if they offer a smaller, travel-compliant battery. Failing to prepare ahead could turn your trip into a frustrating scramble, or worse, leave you stranded entirely. In 2026, compliance isn't optional, it's mandatory. Traveler rights expansion. Not all changes in 2026 are meant to catch you off guard. Some protect your time, money, and dignity. For the first time, the Department of Transportation is enforcing automatic cash refunds. If your flight is significantly delayed, you don't have to settle for vouchers that expire in a year. You can demand your money back. Here's how it works. Domestic flights, delays of 3 hours or more qualify. International flights, delays of 6 hours or more qualify. If you choose a refund, the airline must return the money to your original payment method within 7 days. No hoops, no excuses. There's also an important accessibility clause. If your booked aircraft is swapped for a smaller plane that lacks an accessible lavatory or doesn't meet your mobility needs, this counts as a significant change. You have the right to refuse the flight and get a full refund, even if the departure time hasn't changed. In 2026, knowing your rights isn't optional. It's your strongest tool to avoid being trapped, overcharged, or forced into uncomfortable situations. This is empowerment at the airport, and it's fully enforceable. Online passport renewal. Here's a change designed to cut friction for travelers, but only if you know how it works. The State Department plans a full public rollout in 2026 for online passport renewals. You'll be able to take your photo with a phone, upload documents, pay online, and skip the post office entirely. No mail, no long lines, no unnecessary delays. But there are limits. This system is only for renewals, not first-time applications. Your passport must have expired less than 5 years ago. And don't forget the classic travel rule. Many countries won't let you in if your passport expires within 6 months of your trip. If your documents aren't ready, even this convenience won't save you. Prepare ahead, know the limits, and this new system can save time, stress, and even the cost of last-minute travel fixes in 2026. Hidden operational traps. Right when travelers think they've mastered the system, this is where the quiet traps appear. Not the kind announced on signs, the kind enforced mid-journey, in public, when there's no time to negotiate. Let's start with the stuffed neck pillow. For years, travelers treated it like a loophole, a soft container, clothes packed tight, medications tucked inside. Airlines noticed, airports noticed. In 2026, enforcement is sharper. If it looks overfilled, it's treated as luggage, at the gate, not a check-in. That means fees or a forced repack with everyone watching. Now layer in 3D CT scanners. These machines don't just see objects, they read density. A pillow packed with fabric shows up as a solid mass. When that happens, agents don't guess. They stop the belt, they pull the bag, and yes, they ask you to open it right there. No private room, no explanation required. This is where people freeze, and freezing costs time, dignity, and sometimes missed flights. But there's a narrow, legitimate exception most travelers don't know: medical ice packs. If you're carrying medication that requires temperature control, frozen gel packs are allowed even when liquids normally aren't. The rule is simple but strict. Declare it immediately, before the scanner flags it, before you're asked. Say it clearly, calmly. This is medication. The ice packs are for medical use. Don't wait to be questioned. Don't apologize. Early declaration changes the interaction entirely. This is the pattern to remember for 2026. Automation first, discretion second. The system doesn't guess your intent, it reacts to what it detects. Know the pressure points, speak early, and you move through quietly. Ignore them, and the process becomes very public, very fast. The golden walk. Here's a subtle trap airports use that almost no one talks about. After you clear security, you're funneled through duty-free shops, often winding paths designed to keep you moving through displays before reaching your gate. It's called the golden walk. Your body is exhausted, your adrenaline is dropping, dopamine spikes from relief, you feel good, and that makes you far more likely to spend without thinking. Seniors in particular feel this physically. Extra steps, crowded corridors, and heavy bags can turn a short walk into a draining ordeal. The fix is surprisingly simple if you know where to look. Follow the tiled paths on the floor. These often mark bypass lanes. Check for elevators or escalators immediately after security. They frequently skip the retail areas entirely, dropping you straight at the concourse. A few minutes of observation can save hundreds of unnecessary steps and keep your wallet intact. In 2026, knowing the airport's design is just as important as knowing the rules of travel. In-flight health insight. Here's something most travelers never realize. At 35,000 feet, your sense of taste drops by about 30%. Cabin pressure and dry air dull your taste buds, so airline chefs adjust. The result, meals that taste normal at altitude are loaded with extra sodium. For seniors or anyone monitoring blood pressure, this is more than a nuisance, it's a hidden health risk. That healthy chicken or vegetable medley could have double the salt of the same meal on the ground. The fix is practical and simple. Bring your own food whenever possible. Even small snacks reduce reliance on high-sodium meals. Another trick, wear noise-canceling headphones. Studies show that blocking the constant engine hum helps your brain perceive flavors more naturally, reducing the urge to add extra salt. In 2026, being proactive about your in-flight health isn't optional. It's part of smart, stress-free, and safe travel. Let's wrap this up with your essential 2026 travel checklist. These are the actions that separate smooth trips from costly surprises. Check your ID. Make sure it's a real ID compliant license or your passport. Avoid the $45 TSA Confirm ID fee. Download all required apps. Airline apps for assigned seating, the UK ETA app for London trips, and any other travel authorizations. Measure your mobility battery watt hours. Scooters over 300 watt hours will be denied boarding. Know your refund rights. Delays of 3+ hours domestic or 6+ hours international entitle you to cash back, not vouchers. Check your passport expiration. 6 months of validity is the rule for most countries. Don't risk being turned away. If this guide helped you, subscribe now. Missing even one rule in 2026 isn't embarrassing, it's expensive. Comment below. Tell me which rule surprised you the most and where are you flying in 2026? Travel smart, plan ahead, and never let a technicality, fee, or forgotten form ruin your trip. This is how the most prepared Americans fly in 2026.